The dictionary defines grace in several different ways. As a characteristic appealing for its charm, a disposition to be generous and helpful, or showing mercy and clemency. Of all the definitions, my favorite definition of grace is this: the state of being protected and sanctified by the favor of God. Each of us needs grace in our lives. We've all been in situations where we've needed help and needed a break. All of us have made mistakes, let people down, or done what we know is wrong. I am touched by the words in Grace by U2, He Giveth More Grace by Annie Johnson Flint, and a poem of God's grace with an unknown author for this reason. The words speak about God's favor and love for us, and I can think of many times in my life, as I'm sure that all of you can as well, that I have felt hopeless, that I've made a mistake that I felt was too big for repair, or felt ashamed. In each of those situations, God was there to remove the stain, take the hurts, and remove the marks. God was able to find beauty in everything. God shows us all His ultimate grace. I hope you will enjoy Grace by U2, He Giveth More Grace by Annie Johnson Flint, and a poem of God's grace by an unknown author. Grace. She takes the blame, she covers the shame, removes the stain, it could be her name. Grace. It's a name for a girl, it's also a thought that changed the world. And when she walks on the street, you can hear the strings. Grace finds goodness in everything. Grace. She's got the walk, not on a ramp or on chalk. She's got time to talk. She travels outside of karma. She travels outside of karma. When she goes to work, you can hear her strings. Grace finds beauty in everything. Grace. She carries a world on her hips. No champagne flute for her lips. No twirl or skips between her fingertips. She carries a pearl in perfect condition. What once was hurt, what once was friction, what left a mark no longer stings, because grace makes beauty out of ugly things. Grace finds beauty in everything. Grace finds goodness in everything. He Giveth More Grace by Annie Johnson Flint. He giveth more grace when the burdens grow greater. He sendeth more strength when the labors increase. To added affliction he addeth his mercy. To multiplied trials his multiplied peace. When we have exhausted our store of endurance, when our strength has failed us and the day is half done, when we reach the end of our hoarded resources, our Father's full giving is only begun. Fear not that thy shall exceed his provision. Our God ever yearns his resources to share. Lean hard on the arm everlasting, availing. The Father both thee and thy load will upbear. His love has no limit. His grace has no measure. His power has no boundary known to men. For out of his infinite riches in Jesus, he giveth and giveth and giveth again. A poem of God's grace. Author unknown. I did not know his love before the way I know it now. I could not see my need for him. My pride would not allow. I had it all, without a care, the self-sufficient lie. My path was smooth, my sea was still, there was not a cloud in the sky. I thought I knew his love for me. I thought I'd seen his grace. I thought I did not need to know. I thought I'd found my place. But then the way grew rough and dark, the storm clouds quickly rolled. The waves began to rock my ship. I found I had no hold. The ship I had built myself was made of foolish pride. It fell apart and left me bare, with nowhere else to hide. I had no strength or faith to face the trials that lay ahead, and so I simply spoke his name and bowed my weary head. His loving arms enveloped me, and then he helped me stand. He said, "You must face the storm, but I will hold your hand." So through the dark and lonely night, he guided me through pain. I could not see the light of day, or when I'd smile again. Yet through the pain and endless tears, my faith began to grow. I could not see it at that time, but my light began to glow. I saw God's love in brand new light, His grace and His mercy too. For only when all self was gone could Jesus' love shine through. It was not easy in the storm. I sometimes wondered why. At times I thought, I can't go on. I'd hurt and doubt and cry. But Jesus never left my side. He guided me each day. Through pain and strife, through fire and flood, He helped me all the way. And now I see as never before how great His love can be, how in my weakness He is strong, how Jesus cares for me. He worked it all out for my good, although the way was rough. He only sent what I could bear, and then He said, "Enough." He raised His hand and said, "Be still." He made the storm clouds cease. He opened up the gates of joy and flooded me with peace. I saw His face now clearer still. I felt His presence strong. I found anew His faithfulness. He never did me wrong. And now I know more storms will come, but only for my good. For pain and tears have helped me grow as nothing ever could. I still have much more to come to learn as Jesus works in me. If in the storm I'll love Him more, that's where I want to be.